What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Richest Steve in Atlanta, where it is about the journey, not the title. I'm your host, Stevie Steve. We are back at y'all with episode number 37 in the books. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment just for that, y'all. Episode number 37, like I said, consistency. But yeah, y'all are in for a great show today. We have two topics. Why the American dream became unaffordable for the middle class. And also, we're going to talk about Georgia 2025 tax rebate that will be getting planned on that end. So, yeah, like I said, y'all in for a good show. I don't like to waste no time in this thing. We like to get straight into it. So, like, subscribe, and leave a comment as we get right into our first topic today. Why the American dream is unaffordable. It's specifically unaffordable for the middle class, y'all. Let's be real. The middle class is getting hit by people who are rich and the poor as well. We're getting siphoned on both ends. So yeah, the American dream is just unaffordable for the middle class. Let's go ahead and get straight into this review video. We ain't gonna waste too much time on it. Let's get it.
At the national level, the middle class is typically defined as households with an annual income ranging between $53,740 and
All right, y'all. Middle class between 53,000 to 161,000. Where do you stand on that? I would say I'm a solid low to middle class, middle class. I'm a solid low to middle class. That's where I stand. So I'm close to that middle point. You know, and that's not too much of a fun position to be in. That's just how I feel. Let's continue the video though.
$161,220. But middle-class Americans like Kyle Connolly from Pensacola, Florida, says life has quickly grown unaffordable.
Financially, things have definitely been a struggle for me. I don't know how, but every single month I somehow managed to get by. And I'm left with, maybe this past month, I was left with $125 in my checking account, and that's it.
As of June 2024, 65% of middle-class Americans said they were struggling financially and don't expect their situation to improve for the rest of their lives.
It's a part of the income distribution that has felt a lot of pain in the wake of the pandemic. And it wasn't something that just economists were tracking. It was something that was really felt on the household level. You know, people felt it in their grocery bills. People felt it at the gas pump.
In their own neighborhoods and in their own lives, they have their own expectations for what they can do, where they can go, where they can eat, where they can live. And to the degree that they're facing those pressures on an individual basis, it really is causing quite a bit of an alarm.
75% of middle-income families say they are actively cutting back on non-essential expenses, with 73% finding it difficult to save for the future.
I have had to reduce all non-essential spending. I have gotten one haircut because it just got out of control, and that's it. That's all that I can afford.
We can do so much better. To all of you watching, we can get back to an America that's affordable again.
There's a strong role for policy in affecting the prices of all of these essential goods, from housing to childcare to healthcare expenses.
I think there's a lot of scope to have government programs that help the middle class quite a bit more.
So how has the middle class life become so unaffordable for Americans?
How has the middle class? It's just unaffordable for the middle class. Let's be real. Everything that they named in that intro just hits you across the head with all that. Housing, people who got kids, people who have medical debt, the policies taxing us more. I don't think there's a lot of policies made for middle class people per se. Let's be real. Middle class people, there's not a lot of policies made for that. So yeah, middle class America it's a tough spot to be in right now. I feel like it's a very tough spot to be in with housing prices. Can't afford. Childcare, we can't afford. Medical debt, we can't afford. So how policies keep the middle class life so unaffordable. Yeah, it's I don't think there's really any policies for the middle class. I don't. And the way we're voting now, I feel like we're just voting ourselves more and more unaffordable. Voting for more and more taxes, more and more government spending, more and more government taking money out of our pockets. I can't help anybody if I can't help myself. If I'm struggling, if my struggle is what y'all say is the median, I feel sorry for people. If my struggle is the median, I feel sorry for people. Because there's a lot that comes with being middle class that's unaffordable. Continue though.
Housing is always going to be typically the biggest bite of a household's budget. I think that's probably a primary issue in terms of why people are feeling that crunch.
I am currently renting, and I would say that the housing is probably about 65% of my monthly expenses, where it should be the other way around. It should be 33%.
The median rent for middle-income families has risen by 18% to $1,300 per household between 2001 and 2022.
You've just seen this intense upward pressure on the cost of rent, and that filters through to the cost of buying a house.
Existing home prices hit a record in June 2024, with existing homes selling at a median price of $426,900. According to the most recent analysis, U.S. is facing a shortage of 4.5 million homes. In 2022, families in the U.S. increased by 1.8 million, but only 1.4 million housing units were built to meet the demand.
We've got lots of families who are trying to form, people leave college, they leave their parents' house, they want to buy their own house, and we just haven't seen housing construction.
If you don't build more housing, then housing becomes more expensive. And that's exactly what's happening in a lot of coastal cities and increasingly more and more cities across the United States, that it becomes very unaffordable to buy a house.
What it amounts to are state and local policies that have really operated over the course of several decades to restrict housing supply.
It's the old story that people in single-family homes in desirable neighborhoods really push back against efforts to build more housing in those neighborhoods. They complain about the parking. They complain about pressure on infrastructure.
Experts say policy intervention is essential to tackling the affordability crisis.
There's an opportunity today to rethink how the federal government interacts with housing markets. We already see this in markets like healthcare in the United States. It's not a purely privatized market. There is a government role, both in terms of investments and also just in terms of thinking about how we organize policies.
We don't need to build public housing in the suburbs, but we do need to build more densely near the city center, allow for duplexes and triplexes, at least some amount of light touch density that allows more people to live near where their jobs are, and it brings down rents and home prices a bit, even if that's going to not be as good for existing homeowners.
Y'all know that thing that he just said there. I don't want to say America is heading towards European. That's what a lot of this stuff to me just seems like. I do stay in the city center right now. There are houses, but there are also a lot of apartment buildings, like a lot, maybe not even apartment buildings, but shared community buildings, as in they own that apartment. They're not renting the apartment, they own the apartment, but they don't have a standalone house anymore. That's what I see with housing. That's where I see things going. And he said it in the end. He said we need more congestion around the city center to make housing more affordable. Everybody having their own house, obviously, it's not affordable for people anymore. It's not. And as a middle class person, like I said, it's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. If 65% of your whole income is just on renting, oh gosh, that's not even your mortgage, which means if you're renting at 65%, your mortgage is usually a little bit more expensive than that. It's usually going to be more expensive than that. So that person would be at least a 70. That's no way. No way. Housing has become unaffordable. as people leave college, as people, you know, they're ready to leave home, they're coming into their adult selves, they want freedom from home. That's unaffordable. You can't do that. Can't do that these days unless you want to pay 60%. Like I said, I'm blessed enough. I say blessed enough. But the reality is I make a choice to stay at home for the fact that I know that I don't want to spend 60% of my income on a spot to live. I don't. And that's what a lot of middle class Americans are facing right now. They're making the choice to spend 60% because they don't want to stay at home, because they don't want roommates, because they don't want to have shared living spaces. You know, I don't blame anyone for wanting to have their freedom or not wanting to live in like an apartment style thing, a duplex, being right next to somebody. Everybody wants their own home. They want their own yard. They want their own backyard. They want the American dream when it comes to housing. But that's just not affordable these days, guys. Especially being a middle class person. I couldn't dare think about the things I would have to sacrifice if I wasn't staying at home. Be a lot of things I have to sacrifice. A lot. And like I said, that having a home per se is just not the most important. I'm cool with being roommates with my brother, staying at home for the fact of the things that I get from it. For some people, though, that's just not, they don't weigh those things the same. I'm a avid believer in, hey, we got to cut down these prices somewhere. We need to stay with somebody in our younger age, in our younger years, while we're 25 to 30. Let's actually create ways that we can save money so that we can put it towards these things. But a lot of us were shooting ourselves in the foot from the jump. I think jumping off a ledge too early. I do think a lot of us are jumping off the ledge too early, and we're not able to afford these things. There's no way I would want to spend 65% of my check on a home. Now that's living paycheck to paycheck for sure. And renting at that, I would be pissed. I'm telling you, I would be pissed. Right now, I'm at about 25, I would say 25%, which is very healthy to me. I feel like it's very healthy. It allows me to invest in other things. It allows me to travel. It allows me to be able to afford, okay, I'll go and do a little splurge here on my car. Very heavily, I need to be saving a lot of money on the side as well. You know, housing just it is very unaffordable, and I see America moving towards the European build style. Yeah, people will still have homes. They will be very expensive, but most people will be living in communal spaces. That's how you get affordable housing these days. It's going to be a lot of choices we're going to have to make, y'all. Some of them won't be what everybody wants. Let's be real. And I don't think policies, I'm not gonna lie, I don't believe a policy like giving first-time home owners $50,000, $25,000 is going to help. Because if I was selling my house, I would just raise the price $25,000 extra dollars because everyone has it. A lot more people have that. That's what I see. But
Add to that we see childcare costs that have also exploded over the years. In some parts of the country, you have households paying upwards of $25,000 per year.
The cost of childcare has risen at more than twice the rate of inflation in the U.S., increasing by 273% between 1990 and 2024.
We expect these families to go and participate in the labor market, but they need this vital support.
We have a system in the U.S. that is just so much you're on your own, unless you're very, very poor and can get a subsidy.
I'm very fortunate that what I do to earn an income does not require me to have childcare. I would basically be making the equivalent of $7.50 an hour over the summer if I had to pay for full-time childcare for 3 children. It doesn't make sense.
In 2023, 67% of parents reported spending at least 20% of their annual income on childcare, while 89% said they spent 10% or more of their household income on childcare.
We see here is really a marketplace that's still in a bit of disarray. We have shortages in childcare centers. We have childcare workers who really report being underpaid, which then exacerbates the problem.
You sometimes have states or localities insisting on regulations that just don't make sense for childcare, that make onerous restrictions on child to staff ratios or certain zoning restrictions on where you can have a childcare facility.
And so again, here, there is an opportunity to prop up this labor market and this overall marketplace. We saw some of this effort taking place during the pandemic. In 2021, the United States embarked upon a historic expansion in the refundable child tax credit.
Expanded not just in its generosity, but also in the number of families it reached. It went deep into the middle class. Like often the child tax credit in previous years has just really been a low income program. This one really spread out, didn't start phasing out until $100,000 or more for a bunch of families.
That was a 1-year experiment that expired. You've had policymakers advocating for making this 2021 expanded child tax credit permanent, but it has faced resistance in the Congress.
Healthcare is
People with kids, y'all know what I say. F them kids, man. I'm just playing, y'all. Yeah, having a kid these days, I don't know. I don't know how y'all do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm honestly, I think I'm scared to have kids right now, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think I am scared to have kids because I've seen my mother with kids, because I grew up with her as my mother with kids. It's a lot of sacrifices you got to make. A lot of sacrifices you got to make. And I don't just think I'm too ready to make those sacrifices or to spend the money for them. And yes, the thing is with a lot of middle class people, I like how he said is when they first started talking about childcare, a lot of middle class people do not qualify for childcare help. That's a crazy thing. A lot of middle class people do not qualify for childcare help. My mother didn't qualify. She had 3 kids. And she wasn't just making the most money in the world. Let's be real. 3 kids. Thank God she had help from family. Yeah, I don't have a kid, so there's not much I can say. Like I said, I'm scared of having kids. I don't plan on having a kid anytime soon because I just think it's unaffordable. And like I said, I don't think I'm ready to have a kid. So I'm being very strict on no kids, no kids, no kids. That's how I feel. I'm gonna leave my other opinion on how kids how they were born, how it was your choice to have a kid, you know. A lot of people can say, you know, I didn't mean to have a kid, but at the same time, you ain't wrap your willy as well. Or tell somebody to wrap your willy. To wrap their willy. So this was a choice kind of. Child care to me, or having kids, it's very much a choice that we make. And I just don't, it's not a choice I want to make right now. So I'm very scared of having kids, very horrified. It's a very no for me. Very no for Steve. Kudos to everybody who have kids. You know, I know people with kids. Being middle class and having kids, I feel like it's definitely a very tough situation. Yes, you will make it through. Yes, everybody will see it through. It's good that they're making policies, you know, for child care, tax relief. I feel like that's great for the middle class people. Because a lot of middle class people have kids, and it's very tough on their pockets having kids. So giving them that tax relief, kudos to that. I feel like kudos to that. I won't be getting it though because I don't have kids. But if you can get it, hey, you should be that helps you. Vote for the policies for that. That's how I feel. It helps you do it. That's how I feel. We're gonna move on from childcare though, because I don't really, Let's move
It's
on.
another major factor making the middle-class lifestyle unaffordable for many American families. In 2021, about 12.4 million middle-class families had unpaid medical bills, the highest among all other income groups.
Healthcare expenses weigh heavily on me because I don't have health insurance personally. My children do, but I don't. Every time I sit down to go ahead and look for a health plan that would make sense, I get discouraged because what I can afford has like a $15,000 deductible, but I'm giving them $600 a month.
It's pretty well known by now that if you compare the US to almost any other advanced country, we spend a ton more on healthcare and we do not get better health outcomes.
The US spends about $12,742 per person on healthcare, the highest cost per capita compared to other wealthy OECD countries.
Man, I kind of gotta butt in on healthcare. Yes, he said yes, our healthcare is more expensive, but we're not gonna act like America or the United States is just the healthiest of countries. Okay, we're not gonna act like America is healthy at all. The food we eat, the things we put in our body, no exercise. Let's be real. America's not the healthiest country neither. So healthcare spending per capita with a country who doesn't outlaw any of the preservatives that's in the food, any of the dyes that's in the food. There are chemicals in American food that are outlawed everywhere else in the world except for the United States. So we're not gonna act like, America's we're the healthiest and our healthcare is still expensive. No, we are very unhealthy and our healthcare prices are going through the roof because of that. I feel like I'm a proponent, healthcare, it could be cheaper. Yes, it could be so that more Americans can afford it. I'll continue on that later. I just don't like the way they spinning this kind of like we're healthy. And out of all these places I see Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Belgium, France, average, Canada, Australia. I think that the United States is the most unhealthy in the foods we eat, in the exercise that we get. So I mean, healthcare could be a little bit more cheaper. Yes, it could be more affordable for more Americans. But our health cost, the health problems we're gonna have are definitely going to be higher than a lot of these other places as well.
However, the country still ranks lower on key health measures like life expectancy and infant mortality when compared to similar nations.
Everything costs more. Doctors cost more, drugs cost more, devices cost more. And that to me just seems to me a clear problem of market power in the healthcare sector. And so you've got pharmaceutical companies that unambiguously have market power. That's what patents are. And unlike other countries that really try to leverage some kind of monopsony power against pharmaceutical companies to sort of countervail their monopoly power, we don't do that much in the US. Besides drugs, you've got growing consolidation in sort of hospitals and specialty providers.
A study by Harvard University discovered that hospital prices in markets with a monopoly are 15% higher in areas with 4 or more hospitals. And research from UCLA revealed that monopoly protection increased consumer costs by $52.6 billion across a sample of 355 brand-name drugs. In response to these concerns, the Justice Department launched a task force in May 2024, focused on specifically addressing monopolies and collusion in the healthcare sector.
You want to leverage the power of public buyers of healthcare, to bargain with them and countervail, but then you also want to do antitrust, to say, if you're going to buy up every anesthesiologist in a given area and start price gouging, we're not going to let you do that. We're actually going to regulate, or we're going to disallow the mergers.
Ooh, healthcare. My fix to healthcare would be middle class raise taxes like they do in Europe and give everybody free healthcare. I think that's a very tough conversation to have because middle class people do not want our taxes raised. But if we want cheaper healthcare, I honestly, the only fix that I know is to raise taxes and give everybody universal free healthcare. That's the only fix I honestly know. Unless the government wants to come in and unincentivize people to fix things, That's what I feel like. That's my biggest con fix. If y'all want to know my biggest opinion fix, is to stay out of the hospital by trying to be as healthy as possible. Because a lot of these hospitals, they're not really trying to cure the problem. They want to ease the problem on you, you know? They don't want to fix the problem. They don't want you to not have diabetes. They want to give you insulin to help you fight diabetes. You feel me? If you understand what I'm trying to go here. They want you to have diabetes so that you can pay for the insulin to fight the symptoms of having diabetes. That's how I feel. That's literally how I feel about the healthcare system. I feel like the whole healthcare system is a scam. I haven't been to the doctor in some years, y'all. I think I need to get a checkup. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I need a checkup. And if they tell me I got something crazy, I'm gonna tell them, man, get out of my face. Y'all just want me to spend some more extra money. Because I'm not gonna lie, healthcare is not affordable for the middle class. It's not. Some of them bills I be seeing racked up, it's a blessing that I have the health that I have now. And I'm gonna try to keep it. I'm gonna make some choices to keep it. Now, like I told you, I've been in my winter arc. Y'all seen that video? I've been in my winter arc. I've been working out. I've been eating less junk. Throughout the week, I don't eat sweets like that. Not even like that. I say no sweets during the week. On the weekend, I can dibble and dabble a little bit. I think the best way for is to be healthy. Be healthy. And try to fix some of try to actually cure stuff instead of just trying to dampen the symptoms that we're going to have. Yeah, the whole American healthcare system, scam. It is definitely it's a tough position to be in when it comes to healthcare. I told y'all my fix for healthcare is literally, I'm telling y'all, raise taxes on the middle class, because that's who the taxes are going to have to be raised on. Let's be real. The middle class is going to have to get their taxes raised, and then affordable healthcare for all. Let's continue.
Prices are also rising for essential expenses other than the big three.
The utilities that are just slowly increasing. It's like every month, it's like my usage is down, but why is my bill higher? Obviously, groceries are more expensive. It hurts. It really does hurt when I have to tell my children no. When I have to tell them that, sorry, we can't go to this activity because I don't have the extra $120 to spare this month. As a mother, that's kind of like the hardest part.
Rising prices have been a major talking point for the 2024 election.
For Harris and Trump, focusing on the middle class, speaking directly to promises of building the middle class or rescuing the middle class, these are promises that in some way offer an umbrella pitch for why they are the best candidate for the health of the U.S. economy.
I was raised as a middle class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
She wants to build 3 million new homes over the courses of her potential administration, increase the supply of housing, and lower the price. She has pledged to crack down on hidden junk fees and other corporate pricing practices that she sees as the reason for high prices. For Harris, a lot of boosting the middle class comes down to putting more money in the middle class's wallet.
I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life, $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers.
For Trump, he's painting his candidacy as sort of the change campaign. People are sick of the economic status quo, and he wants to be the person to relieve them of the economic pain that he sees as the result of a disastrous Biden-Harris administration.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country.
For him, lowering prices and ending inflation is a matter of growing the economy as a whole. A lot of his proposals, economists have analyzed and said they could threaten to reheat inflation in the short term. Things like his tariff proposals that would increase producer costs for manufacturers, which could then translate to higher consumer prices.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world.
He says, look at the long term. Once we grow the economy in the long term, that value is going to trickle down and outweigh any short-term costs or pain that you feel from the immediate implementation of some of his plans.
The middle class is really a component of the American experience that many people aspire to. It really does connote a feeling of opportunity, not just for that family, but for their children's and really future generations. I think government policy is really central to thinking about the challenges facing the middle class today. And it would be beneficial if more Americans had a feel for how these policies interact with and really affect the well-being of their families.
Well, guys, speaking of policies, DeKalb County is considering raising utility prices for water and sewer. So in DeKalb County, your water bill will be going up. Speaking of policies, that we've all been talking about how the middle class is getting whacked across the head. Your utilities in DeKalb County will be going up. They will be going up. The middle class, I don't want to be in the middle class no more, y'all. Middle class is the only place where you get whacked in the head from two sides. You get whacked in the head from the rich talking about our taxes came up, so we gonna charge y'all more. You get whacked in the head by the poor. We need more stuff, taxes, so y'all need to pay more taxes. The middle is the only place where you're getting squeezed by both sides. Everybody wants to extract more out of you. I'm so tired of it. Y'all look at this. Look at this. What's gonna happen in DeKalb County?
Commissioners will vote next month on that price hike. This could hit a lot of people really hard, Joshua.
Yeah, it could. DeKalb County has only raised its water and sewage rates once, grand total of one time in the last decade. That could soon change here in the coming weeks, as the commissioners could vote to raise that rate about 19% over the next 3 years. DeKalb County has had its share of water issues with its aging pipes.
We have an aging system that had been neglected for many, many decades.
And DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman wants to make sure the flow of water stays strong inside those pipes.
We are at a critical juncture where we must make these investments.
Those investments? An annual 6% sewer and water rate increase every year over the next 3 years, expected to bring in $107 million, which would go to buy over $200 million in bonds to continue the work on the Scott Candler Water Treatment Plant, the county's only source of fresh potable water.
Well, y'all see it there. 6% hikes over the next 3 years is what they will be voting on in DeKalb County here soon. So the utility prices will be going up in DeKalb County. Talk about being middle class. Your water bill will be 6% more next year if they vote for it. 6% more. Then the year after that, it'll go up 6% again. Then the year after that, 6% again. And they're working to get to 19 over these next 3 years. Hey, y'all, it costs to be in the middle. I don't think that's going to affect. Let's be real. Who's going to be the most affected? Middle class. The rich people, they're going to pay that 6% easy each year. The poor people, they not paying it. They not paying it anyway. They're not going to have to pay it. They getting help. The middle class, though, you're going to feel that in your pockets. When you look at that water bill, you're going to be like, dang, this time last year, the water bill was only $70. Man, I can't believe this. That's how I be feeling, y'all. That's how I be feeling when I be looking at my utility bills. But the infrastructure, y'all know you need fresh water, you need all that. So I'm here to tell y'all that the American dream is only getting more unaffordable. It's only getting more expensive to be in the middle class. It's only going to be harder to escape the middle class or to be comfortable in the middle class. Housing prices, they're not going to go down. No matter what anybody does, housing prices, they're not going to go down. Can make more affordable housing, yes. Them prices there, I don't see them going down. Having a child's not going to get any cheaper. Being unhealthy, having health problems, not going to be any cheaper. And a lot of the policies we're voting for, not going to make things any cheaper. I'm telling you, nothing's going to get any cheaper for the middle class. It's going to be more and more unaffordable. It's going to suck more and more to be middle class. One of the worst things is, I'm telling y'all, you finally start making a little money when you jump from that 10% to that 21%. And you thought you was going to get a big check back at the end of the year. You thought you was going to have some taxes coming in. And then you like, dang, I ain't get nothing back. Nah, buddy. Welcome to the lower middle class. When you about to get knocked across the head from both sides. Hey, shouts out to the American dream, though, right? Am I right? Am I right? Shouts out. Hey, man, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about the American dream. And is it unaffordable for most Americans? Y'all seen how I added in that little Georgia taste, right? Y'all seen how I added in the little Georgia taste? I told y'all that I was going to move this thing more about the place that I'm in, my community, the place where it actually affects me. Like I said, the whole election with me getting into politics and doing this thing, that was just like an introduction to bringing me in. But now I really want to go towards home with this thing and bring it in and connect it, because I have ties in Decatur, Georgia, in the cab. I have ties in the cab. It's close to where I stay at. Who knows? I might have family that stay there. And now I know that my family in the cab, their water bill is going to go up by 6% if this is voted for. Their water bill will be going up 6%, which will affect my family. 6% for the next 3 years until it's at a 19%. All the way across. I told y'all I was gonna wrap it in and bring it in Georgia. I'm start talking about Georgia a little bit more, because that's where I stay at. That's where I'm from. And I actually do enjoy it. All right, y'all, talking about some type of relief, because I do want to talk about some relief. I definitely want to talk about relief. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Georgia 2025 tax rebate. Y'all know in Georgia, we've I think for the past few years, we've been getting a tax rebate at the end of when it comes to our taxes, we've gotten a tax rebate. I've been happy with the way Georgia has been being handled as a state when it comes to tax relief in general. I feel like that is the best way to affect the most amount of people by being responsible with state funds and giving it back to the people the way they can feel it in their pockets. For example, what just happened? What tax relief did we just get in Georgia? The gas tax relief. I hate that I wasn't in Georgia to participate in it. You know, I got to see the little tail end. I got one tank with the tax relief of that. But to me, it has been handled very well, and it has affected a lot of people in Georgia. We've gotten tax relief multiple times. We've gotten a rebate multiple times over the past few years. So I am satisfied with the way I feel like Georgia has been being run as a state. I will say that. As a state, I've been satisfied on the tax relief portion of that. But yeah, we're set to get a tax rebate in 2025. Let's go ahead and get the press conference for this, where Governor Kemp, he spoke at it. Let's get it.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank y'all so much for joining us today for a great announcement that will impact all hardworking Georgians. I want to thank the nation's best First Lady, Marty Kemp, for being here with us today. Also want to thank our Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, Speaker of the House, John Burns.
He got a real
Chairman
Southern
Blake
accent,
Tillery,
y'all.
who worked with us on this, and Chairman Matt Hatchett, our appropriations chairman. We appreciate them, and a lot of other incredible partners in the legislature that you see standing behind me. And thanks to that partnership, our conservative approach to budgeting, and the historic job creation that we're seeing across our state, I'm proud to be able to stand alongside these great partners to announce that we will again give the workers of our state a tax rebate in the coming year.
Just give me my money. What was that? Hey, just give me my money. That's all I want is my money. Just give me my money. Please, y'all, just give me my money. Like, that's all I need. Just give me my money. And like I said, I feel like that affects the most people. Everybody I know get this. Get them a nice little chunk of change.
As we prepare to head into the holiday season, and as many Georgians continue to recover and rebuild from recent storms and hurricanes, the people you see up here today continue to look for ways that we can give them relief. We all know that even if inflation has fallen, high prices have not. Families see that every day when they go to the grocery store or the gas pump. And that's one of the reasons I suspended the state gas tax in the wake of the Hurricane Helene, because people shouldn't have to deal with that added burden, especially in the wake of tragedy. I want to again thank the partners that you see behind me and many others who are not, the members of the General Assembly, again, for their support of that measure. Because whether it's the tax rebates we've given in prior years, the homeowner tax relief grant we passed last year, the multiple times we've suspended the state gas tax, enacting the largest income tax cut in state history, and the acceleration of that cut that we announced last December, or any other relief effort we've made, the legislature is a key partner. And we're
See, y'all, this is why I said I really want to start focusing on politics. I didn't even know half the stuff was that he mentioned up there. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't know. And if I didn't know it, I know a lot of y'all didn't know it. Not saying that I should know it, but I'm saying I'm just like y'all and not know it. So, you know, we like two peas in the pods out here. Everybody's just unknowing. We ain't know a lot of this stuff. Show don't. Don't know a lot of this stuff. So we bring a light to a lot of this, the stuff that's actually helping people. I didn't have no idea about the tax cut for new homeowners. I had no idea. And I didn't know that we had an income cut as well. Income tax cut as well for the state. That's why I say, y'all, honestly, I was just thinking about it like, hold on. I think Georgia has been handling their state incomes pretty well.
We're able to work together on these measures and get them passed because the people up here share a fundamental belief. And it's something that I've said before, and now I'm going to say it again. This isn't the government's money, it's yours.
Yeah.
That money belongs to hardworking Georgians. It belongs to small businesses that drive our economy. It belongs to the farmers and families who were devastated by Hurricane Helene. It belongs to the rural communities to help grow opportunity. And it belongs in the pockets of men and women throughout our state who are struggling due to bad policies coming out of Washington, D.C. And while we cannot fix everything they've broken, our hope is that this measure we're announcing today will help in some way. Modeled after the rebates we've enacted previously, this proposal will return $250 to a single tax filer, $375 to a single filer who is head of household, and $500 to a married couple filing jointly.
Give me my $250. Give me my $250. That's what I want. My $250 right now. I know what I'm gonna do with it too. I ain't gonna do like y'all. I know a lot of y'all gonna go spend your $250. You gonna go spend your $250 on taking your girl out on a little datey date. It's gonna be close to February, so you'll spend it on Valentine's to get your little datey date, a nice little gift. Take out the Ruth's Chris. Mine ain't going to that. I'm gonna budget that separately. My girl's still gonna get some stuff now. Don't hack. My girl's still gonna get some stuff, but I'm not gonna use my rebate on that. That's what I'm saying. She's still gonna get stuff, but I'm not gonna use my rebate on that like y'all gonna use y'all rebate on that. I'm gonna use my budgeted out funds for that. That's already handled. But my rebate is gonna go it's gonna go either into some stocks. It's going to go into a business now. We investing that $250. That's what we need to be doing with this extra money, is investing it. Now, it may help a lot of families. I agree. You might need it. To handle some of your needs. So I understand that. But if we going to put it towards our want, taking our girls on a little datey date for Valentine's Day, when this come through, it's going to hit right in time. So you can go buy her a little gifty gift, take her out on a little datey date. Show her how much you love her for that one day of the year. Nah, we gonna invest that. We gonna invest this first. That's what we gonna do, and we gonna budget for that later. It's actually already budgeted for. Let's get it real. It's actually already budgeted for. But give me my $250.
Now, what does this translate to for Georgia families? That rebate means helping pay the rent or car payment. It means school clothes for their kids or a shopping cart full of groceries. It means paying down credit card debt, which people are living off of thanks to bad national policies, and many other possibilities for the people of our state. In total, this proposal will save Georgia taxpayers over $1 billion.
Yeah. Yo, y'all buddy over here on the side, he's been dying over there. I feel bad for him. He got one of them calls. You just got to get out, man. I would have stood to the side and got me a good one, because he been over there dying. I see it in his throat. He got one of them hanging throats too, so that thing just been in there itching. I would have been using the claps. I would have been giving some hard coughs on them claps.
And when you add that to the other relief measures I listed earlier, together this group will have saved or returned over $6.6 billion for hardworking Georgians. I am proud of that work, and these partners up here should be proud of it too. I want to give a special thank you to the Office of Planning and Budget Director Rick Dunn and his team, who have worked tirelessly on these and many other proposals to make sure that we're on sound financial footing to get them done. But I also want to make it clear, today's announcement is not the end of our search for policies that will give relief, especially to those impacted by the recent storms. In the coming weeks, my team will continue our conversation with legislative leaders on how we can best help those who are hit so hard by these storms. So again, I want to thank the men and women behind me, those that aren't with us, and I look forward to continuing our work together in the months and years ahead. With that, I want to turn it over to one of our key partners that you'll hear.
All right, yeah, he's pretty much done with that. He's pretty much done with that. Like I said, though, I feel like this is a great opportunity for people to use it for things that Kim said use it for. A grocery card, paying off some of your credit card debt, paying off some of your medical debt. It may be $250 to that. It's a lot. It's a lot on top of what you're already doing. A car payment. Help some of that 65% that you paying for your rent. It'll help you a little bit on that. Help you get your kids some school clothes. I remember when I was a kid, I used to wear the same shoes all year round. Sure did, whole year. I used to wear them things the whole year. Go get a shopping cart. But let's not go spend it on some bull like I know y'all going to spend it on. I said, I know when this coming out. This rebate going to come out during Valentine's-ish time period. Don't go spend that on no datey date for your boo thing. Don't go spend that on no gifty gift for your boo thing. Don't go spend it on no bull, y'all. Use it to actually help yourself and your family. Here's the thing, though, about this thing. Here's the thing. Some people don't agree with us getting these checks. Some people believe that the Georgia tax rebate could be paying for other issues. Y'all know we like to visit both sides of things. Here, at least, we like to visit both sides of things. So let's go ahead and get into that. See what the other side is saying about this.
But first, right now, new relief for Georgians struggling to fight inflation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Tonight, Governor filers will receive a one-time refund of $250.
Let me pause that on the screen for y'all so y'all see how much you're getting. Just give me my money. Shouts out Georgia. Just give me my money. I want that $250 in my pocket.
Single head of households will receive $375, and married couples who file jointly will get $500.
11 Alive's Angelina Salcedo live tonight from the state capitol where the governor made this announcement. So, Angelina, we know that these refunds are possible because the state has a lot of extra cash.
And Governor Kemp says there is a surplus of $10.7 billion. Over $1 billion of that could go back into your pocket if this plan is approved. Now, while this news is welcome, some people question if the state could spend this money elsewhere.
It definitely is always great, of course, to hear that you might get a rebate.
It's exciting to hear.
It'd be great to have extra money in my pocket, right? I've got a little girl, I've got a wife, we bought a house this year.
Anthony Miller and his wife could qualify for $500 for filing jointly.
At the same time, we're not counting on that money the way some people might be.
And he still has questions.
I also wonder, what's the catch,
Some, including Miller, argue the cash could go somewhere else.
There's always somebody who needs help. You drive through the streets of Atlanta, you see plenty of people who are unhoused.
I'm not convinced that our state is at the right level to have everything where it needs to be.
Representative Scott Holcomb sits on the Appropriations Committee. He wants to know why the state's revenue estimates are off.
Why is it that year after year we're having these massive surpluses?
And could they be spending more wisely?
Just making sure that our roads are up to speed. Our infrastructure maintained in the way that it needs to be? And then for our agencies and our workers.
Before it's approved, Holcomb wants those things to be looked at first.
Not just kicking that down the curb by saying we're flush with cash and we could just give this money back.
Now, legislative approval for this would come in 2025. Right now, it's still unclear when taxpayers will be getting this rebate or how they're going to be getting it. But Governor Kemp does say that it could come in the coming year. We're live in Atlanta. Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? The other side is saying the money could be spent. More money could be spent more wisely. Dear God, that is a crazy thing to say. Basically, we need to be spending more of that money to help other people. And the dude who was on here before, I don't know about him, but there is a lot of middle-class families who need that, who could use that $250. Otherwise, they wouldn't qualify to get. They're not qualifying to get nothing. They make too much. At that, what was it? $56,000 They make too much money to get help. That $250 gonna help them out as well. $250 gonna help everybody out. I feel like if you get that $500 and you want to donate your $500 to somebody, go do that. Go do that. Go do that. That's my goal anyway, is to be at a place where I don't need this stuff and I'm able to help people. But at this point, I barely can help myself. So I really don't. Helping other people is just hard for me. I cannot really help myself. A lot of people, they're out here struggling, and they are very middle class, solidly middle class, struggling. I don't want to see. Yeah, that money could be spent on other things. I don't think more wisely. We can say infrastructure, but I see where I stay at, the roads is getting worked on like crazy. We done had traffic where the highway been a horrible spot to be at for like a year and a half now, and it's still being worked on. Horrible spot to be at. I hate getting on that highway because they working on the road. They fixing the infrastructure, so I already see them doing that. We could say, yeah, help more poor families. I understand that, but there are a lot of people in the middle class who are struggling as well, and they cannot get the help. They don't qualify to get the help. So I feel like if he wants to give his money over, he should do that. And I don't. It's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to help somebody. Yeah, man, y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about that. How y'all feel about the whole tax rebate? What you gonna do with your money in Georgia? At least in Georgia, what you gonna do with your money? Spend it wisely, for sure. Y'all, that is pretty much the end. So we might as well go ahead, and I just need to give y'all a life update. As y'all see, I'm back in Sweden. Back in Sweden, working hard. I'm in my winter arc though, so I've been working hard, working for sure, working. That's all I do. That's all I do is work and try to spend some time on my YouTube journey. And I've been going to the gym too. I've been staying on that. Like I said, winter arc in full effect. We've been doing that. Biggest update money wise for Steve is I got some help with some money stuff, and I'm looking to open me up a high yield saving account for something big that's coming in the medium term, short term, medium term. So I was advised, talked through, not to put it in the market where, because market, it can be a gamble, especially for the short time, medium time. So I'm gonna put it in a high yield savings account, let it do that little 4%. I'm not gonna say little 4%, because let's be real, that 4% is a lot compared to a lot of other savings accounts that you have. Let that stack in the meantime while I save up to this goal that I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna leave it out there, leave it mysterious, so that when y'all see it, just know that that's what it's coming. But in the meantime, that money will be sitting in a high yield savings account until I can get to it. That's pretty much all that's going on with me, y'all. Pretty much all that's going on with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace, love, and riches. I'm out.